Welcome, residents, to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is producer Richard, and across from me is the Doctor himself.
Hello.
Each week, we talk about the weird and wonderful world of DC while fielding questions from listeners like you. It feels like it's been a while for some reason. I don't know why.
I guess it's been one day longer than it usually is between recording. We would normally have recorded this yesterday.
We didn't take a week off or anything, did we?
No.
I don't know.
It's just that day.
Maybe it's because we weren't recording like Ghostfacers on the weekend.
Yeah, we haven't done. I mean, again, though, still like we normally see each other like about once a week.
I don't know. It's been too long.
Yeah, I really felt the pull.
Well, I mean,
you were gripping a little tight, so I was definitely gonna feel it. So,
speaking of feeling that pull, we got a review.
Hey,
it's a great pull. 5-star review, number 86. Apple. I mean, by 86, I mean 106. Cause
that's the 86. We are at, I think, 96.
No, I just mean we're clearly at 100, and because we're actually at 200 because we got the podcast out.
Oh no, it's. Oh god! Oh, so are we still playing that game? I thought I gave up the ghost a couple of weeks ago when I said you did it. You hit the secret milestone of 95 review or whatever the fuck is that?
I guess you're totally right. This was on.
At this point, that is like trying to pretend people don't know who I am.
Oh yeah, I forgot we didn't do that for a while.
For a while, we like. Actually, I think for a couple of episodes, you actually bleeped it out in the early days.
Oh, yeah.
And then
I realized it was too much.
And then it was
work.
like, leave it in, but like, it might have snuck under the radar. And then it was just like, we're just saying my name.
Yeah, that's true. When no one is around you, say, baby, I love you. Say my name. Acting kind of shady.
You're calling me baby.
What a sudden change. Say my name. Ugh. This is on Apple Podcast USA.
All right.
From Goodwood.
Is it a Russian bot?
It's
most excellent podcast.
I mean, it does start with very knowledgeable.
Yes, very knowledgeable. Я не понимаю это podcast.
Is that one of the things that they taught you how to say?
Yeah, I don't understand this podcast.
Yeah.
Я не понимаю это podcast.
Yeah, that would be a thing that they would try to
do. I just put that together.
No, it would be like, this podcast is bloody.
I told you the thing, the sentence I learned how to say was that there's blood on my classical music ticket. There's blood on my ticket to the classical music concert.
There's blood on my ticket to Zorro.
My mother's pearls fell in the alley. Yeah, I am vengeance. I am the night.
Yeah. This regular Joe needs to chill? What?
So is that Joe Chill's catchphrase?
Yeah.
This regular Joe needs to chill. Oh shit! Oh, my finger was on the trigger. Oh, damn it.
Oh no, you've done it now. Oh no. Oh.
Yeah, I told you to hold it by the trigger, didn't I, Joe?
So whenever we get excited,
I knew you were a bit of a nervous Nelly. I figured you'd fire it a couple of times. Pop, pop.
Yep, just a little pop, pop, and then we get to Dark Knight.
Sorry, what is this review?
Oh, these guys are super knowledgeable about DC Comics and comics in general. Also, very funny and engaging.
Yeah.
Super premium podcast.
Yes, most excellent.
Number 1, USA.
Yeah, put in your ears.
That's really funny.
Well, that's very nice.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a lovely review. Thank you, good
Yeah. Wow. Sorry, I didn't understand the right pronunciation.
Could you imagine if like his like auto cache thing on Google Chrome like went down or erased it, and it's like, what's your username? And you're like, fuck.
No.
I remember it was 27 consonants.
Yeah. Does that help me? Shit. We've got some news.
Oh.
Tiny bit news.
Okay. Novosti. I think that's news. Novosti.
Duh.
No.
Why don't we start talking a bit about the DC Fandom Part 2.
Yeah.
Is there anything that that came out or anything that you remember from it or that stood out to you? Because we're not really going to be doing a specific episode.
Yeah, I mean, we're not doing a specific episode on it because it wasn't necessarily like a ton of like surprise announcements or we already got through the trailers and stuff when they did the Hall of Heroes stuff.
This is mostly just like panels.
It was panels about TV shows and comics and a couple of other things. They also had like on offer like a couple of older documentaries that have existed for a while, but you could watch them again. I watched one about the history of DC Comics and got like crazy choked up.
Really?
The Dwayne McDuffie one was up there too, which is also a great one. The panels were a lot of fun. You know, we got a little bit of info. The idea that, like, for example, for The Flash, we know that Godspeed's going to be a big part of season 7. That's
coming back, yeah.
That's coming down the pipeline. We know that. It was cool to. The interesting thing was all of these things were filmed in time to have been a part of the first fandom. Because originally it was all going to be one day, and then they were like, we should split this up because
there's too much for one day.
There's too much. So some stuff that the panels were covering, like now things had come out. So for example, the Metalverse panel had Scott Snyder and James Tynion and Joshua Williamson, and they were talking about speed metal and Trinity Crisis and something else. But at the time Trinity Crisis hadn't come out, it had now by the time like I saw the panel. But it was neat to like hear these creators talk about things that I'm already into and understanding. It wasn't that there were new revelations, but it was just, it's cool to see like what were their thoughts on it in the way that like, you know, when you watch the behind the scenes stuff on Supernatural, what was the thought when we were making this episode or something like that. So that was the really fun thing for me about that fandom was having these comic panels and people talking about like, this is what we were
getting
after.
More context, right?
Yeah, this was the goal or this was the... I thought that was kind of neat. Black Lightning panel was pretty good. I dug that one. Trying to think, what was one that really blew me away? It's so hard to remember. I watched like 11 things. I mean, because they're all like 20 minutes long. Yeah, God, what a crazy day. Oh, here's something that I was excited about. As part of the free comics that you could read that they made available on that day, they released Milestone Returns #0 because Milestone Comics is coming back in February, which is awesome. So I read Milestone Returns #0. So you're reintroduced to Icon and Rocket and Static, and you know Hardware is going to be in there. All of that kind of stuff. There's a couple of characters I didn't necessarily recognize, and I'm not sure if they're new takes on old ones or completely new ones. But I am excited for Milestone. So that's in February that's happening. Yeah. I will say the Rorschach panel was really interesting. So there's a Rorschach series coming from Tom King. And at first I was like, I don't mind people going back to Watchmen because obviously the HBO show did a great job. I fucking loved Doomsday Clock, but I've also seen it go like, we don't need this. Like the Manhattan stuff in Death Metal, I'm like, I don't know that we need that in there. Like, I've seen both sides, right? So I was like, a Rorschach series, like, also that's like the character all the fucking incels love. Well, and shit. And I was like, do we need that? But being in that panel, hearing Tom King talk about what was, because it was Tom King and it was also, what's his name? Damon Lindelof moderated it.
Oh, really?
So Tom King was like fanboying over.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Damon Lindelof and saying like, I was asked to do a Rorschach series and I kept saying no until I saw your show. Wow. And then I was like, oh, you can contribute something to this thing that is, you know, you build it up in your head that Watchmen is this like unassailable, uncrackable thing, right? So that was neat. It was interesting hearing him talk about philosophy because basically the Rorschach in their book is obviously not Walter Kovacs because he's dead, disintegrated, but saying that he's approached it basically from like basically the polar opposite philosophy that Rorschach is based on. Oh, wow. So instead of being about objectivism and Ditko and stuff, he was like citing this other philosopher whose name I don't remember. And I was like, oh, he's putting a lot of thought in. He understands that Rorschach is meant to be a parody of how insane Ditko got. Yeah. Like, I was like, he's not going to glorify that, hopefully. So it actually, after that panel, I went and like messaged the guy that runs our comic book shop and said, I'll get Rorschach.
Wow.
Because I wasn't going to get it, or I was going to wait until a trade or something. And then I was like, no, I have more confidence in it now. That was probably maybe like the biggest one for me in that day, is I was like, oh fuck, like
it's a turning point. Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool to have panels on like 3 Jokers and Joker War and some stuff like that. Just these current arcs, and like hearing Jason Fabok and Jorge Jimenez talk about especially design, right?
Yeah.
Like Jason Fabok redesigning outfits and looks and stuff for 3 Jokers, and trying to evoke Killing Joke, but also trying to evoke 3 different eras of Joker and stuff like that, while also they need to look similar enough that Batman didn't recognize that they were different.
Yes.
Like, just the design challenge of that was interesting to hear about. And then for Jorge Jimenez, designing new characters like Clown Hunter and Punchline and the Underbroker and stuff like that for this series. I think I probably heard from more artists than I had in any sort of one sitting before. That was kind of fun and neat.
That's awesome.
It was cool. It was a ton of fun. Again, no like bombastic announcements from that day that I remember, at least. But, you know that they did talk about like Grundy's going to come back again in season 2 of Stargirl. Yeah, the Godspeed thing for Flash. Some little things in there, but it was just a fun day of like enjoying comics and hearing about people's processes mostly, which was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Next, Jim Lee says a 5G reboot of the DC universe is not going to happen.
Yeah, and the reason that he had to say that is that I think they're repurposing some of those scrapped like Generations books.
Yeah.
And putting them out as something different. I can't remember if it's continuity or not, or they've changed a little thing, or if it's meant to be its own little bubble, but they've sort of repurposed, repackaged, and put them out. And that announcement came, and then people were like, oh, so is it happening? But it's going to happen post Death Metal. So like Death Metal is going to reset continuity or like adjust continuity. And then there's going to be this other thing. And I think it's more just, they don't want these things that people worked on to go to waste.
Yeah.
I think it's just mostly going to be its own thing. It might be continuity, but it's not going to like shake things up. We're not going for a relaunch. There's no reboot. It might be little tweak or something, the way any story does.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like a huge thing the way it was originally going to be, where they were going to like completely shift the timeline or whatever.
Well, it's probably after all that bad press, of it taking down the
Didio.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but that was I mean, Didio loved comics, but that was so emblematic of his time as a publisher, was like, oh, fuck, what didn't people like? Let's immediately knee-jerk try to 100% arbitrarily switch it to what we think people will like, as opposed to like, maybe we should change our editorial philosophy, and slowly, organically, over time, we will get back to the thing people want.
Exactly.
Like, he was so like, we could do it by May. like that was like every time, everything he ever touched was like that.
Jesus.
Yeah.
DC proudly announced Represent, a new digital series from underrepresented creators.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
Well, I know DC's like general manager now is like, he's like really wants to like steer the ship in a different, like, the thing that Didio wasn't doing, which is like, we need to change the culture, right?
Yeah.
Like, things will organically go the way we want them to if we start bringing in different perspectives and stuff like that, like all that kind of thing, right?
Today DC pronounced a new digital series, Represent, launching with It's a Bird by Christian Cooper, Aletha E. Martinez, Mark Morales, and Emily Lopez and Rob Clark Jr. This is the first chapter available now, offered to for free on participating digital platforms. It looks like this digital series is designed to showcase and introduce creators traditionally underrepresented in the mainstream comic book medium, said executive editor Marie Javins. We'll highlight both new and familiar voices, beginning with It's a Bird by writer Christian Cooper, a semi-fictionalized account of Christian's real evolution from a kid with a pair of binoculars to a man in an unexpected media spotlight after an altercation with a woman walking her dog in Central Park.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome, yeah.
I'm super stoked on this.
Not 100% on that note, but it just made me think of it. The other panel that I remember enjoying was the Other History of the DC Universe, which is a book that's coming from John Ridley.
Okay.
Where he's writing sort of about things tangential to events and history that already exists in the DC Universe, but from the perspective of minority characters.
Oh, wow.
Like Katana, Black Lightning, Thunder.
That's cool.
Mal Duncan and Bumblebee and stuff like that.
That
so
rules.
he was talking about that. Renee Montoya.
Wow.
So it was cool to hear more about that book. That's awesome. That was a cool one.
I love that. Warner Bros. Release full statement debunking Justice League star Ray Fisher's misconduct claims.
Did it actually debunk it?
So it's been sort of this weird back and forth thing, and now people are saying that Ray Fisher has been like hiding, and so he had to come out and say, "I'm not hiding." Apparently in July, so we all know that Ray Fisher, representative asked DC Films president to talk to Mr. Fisher about his concerns during the production of Justice League. The two had previously spoken with Mr. Hamada, asked him to reprise his role as Cyborg in Warner Bros. Upcoming Flash movie, together with a member of the Justice League. In their July conversation, Ms. Fisher recounted disagreements he'd had with the film's creative team regarding his portrayal of Cyborg, and complained that his suggested script revisions were not adapted. Mr. Hamada explained that creative differences are a normal part of the production process, and that the film's writers-directors ultimately has to be in charge of these matters.
I mean, that's technically true, but also a very convenient way to deflect. I don't think Ray Fisher's big complaint was they didn't use my changes. Wasn't it more about like an abusive, hostile working environment?
So
wasn't it more about that?
Why? Yeah, it was. Which they don't specifically point out in this thing.
See, this feels like a deflection.
Exactly. While Mr. Fisher never alleged any actionable misconduct against him, Warner Bros. Nonetheless initiated an investigation into concerns he'd raised about his character's portrayal. Still not satisfied, Mr. Fisher insisted that Warner Bros. Hire an independent third-party investigator, which we knew about.
Yeah, I think we knew that.
This investigator has attempted multiple times to meet with Mr. Fisher to discuss his concerns, but to date, Mr. Fisher has declined to speak to the investigator. Warner Bros. Remains committed to accountability and to the well-being of every cast, crew, and member, blah, 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 blah. I mean, for me, it's still... It feels like like they're skirting the actual problem.
Yeah. Do you know what the weird thing that I've seen in the last couple of days has been? Has been both Jason Momoa and Ray Fisher basically saying that things like them announcing that Ben Affleck was returning as Batman, which was announced like a few weeks before Fandom, but was clearly should have been a Fandom thing.
Yeah.
Like that announcement, and that do you remember that weird rumor that Momoa was going to play Frosty the Snowman?
No.
It came out, and then it was like, well, that's not real. But both Ray Fisher and Jason Momoa have now asserted that those things were Warner Brothers trying to distract from the shit Ray Fisher was accusing them of.
What?
I know. I mean, I still believe Ray Fisher because I don't see what he has to benefit from.
If any, I mean, he's an unknown actor in a position that like this will just ruin his career.
He's not in a position to benefit from this, really.
No.
But it's very strange. The whole thing is very, very strange.
Which is weird because he is in this new, he's in all the new Justice League stuff that's coming. So.
Well, I mean, you already filmed that.
Well, I mean,
filmed that
there
first.
might be some reshoots that they do.
I don't think so. It's basically all shot.
Because I'd heard that they were bringing cast back for a bunch of reshoots. So
I didn't think they need to.
I heard that was part of the $30 million. Was
oh really?
Yeah, it was.
Well, yeah. I mean, he clearly had a good time working on it though with Snyder. So I think that's an easy thing for him to agree to. I mean, the other thing is like Momoa joining in to support him lends more credence to him too, because Momoa is like he's off $1 billion franchise. They have him in Dune. Like Momoa is a big Warner Brothers player right now. Like he's not. If it wasn't true, he's not going to stick his neck out and ruin that shit for himself. Like if they didn't truly believe what they were behind. So
Apparently, Fisher responded basically like a day later and basically said that he provided evidence that he did in fact speak to the investigator, but refrained from saying too much because he felt that the investigator wouldn't be impartial. Fisher has since expanded on his thoughts on the matter in a new Instagram live video he'd put out, where he also detailed more about John's behavior, using back-channel communications to gloat that there'd be another cyborg being used in the DC universe in a show that he was producing. So,
yeah.
It's escalating.
It is, and it's definitely, the more you learn, the harder it is to enjoy Jeff Johns, I would say.
Yeah.
But
it's making it challenging for sure.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, we just got to kind of keep an eye on it, but it's like, it's pretty wild.
Yeah, I don't see why he would do this unless it was true.
Yeah.
I have a hard time seeing.
But then for Warner Bros. To be like, he's disappeared. And then he's like, I didn't disappear. And then Momoa's be like, they said I was playing Frosty to distract from this. Like, there's so many weird levels to this thing. It's so wacky.
It feels like, it all goes back to the fucking weirdness where it started, which is like getting rid of Zack Snyder, right?
Yeah.
I think that they're so desperately trying to just like push away.
Warner's is definitely a company that would rather lie than look bad.
Yeah, 100%. Which is funny because it's just making them look worse.
Yeah.
Last piece of news here: Dark Knight's death metal expands with 3 more one-shots in December. But we've been getting like death metal, like we're getting speed metal now, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. So speed metal is about the Flashes trying to outrace the Darkest Knight. The Darkest Knight is the Batman who laughs, who was killed, and then his brain was put in the body of a Bruce Wayne that recreated the Manhattan accident. So he's a Batman-Hattan. So that's the Darkest Knight, is the Batman who laughs with the powers of Dr. Manhattan.
Okay, Jesus.
So the Darkest Knight is chasing the Flashes through what's left of the Speed Force. That's what speed metal is.
Jeez, that sounds metal.
Trinity Crisis, which already came out, is about the Trinity, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, going to the dark multiverse to stop the original 3 crises. Crisis on Infinite Earths, Infinite Crisis, and Final Crisis.
Oh my God.
To harness the energy that they're going to then channel to Wally so he can use it to remake the multiverse.
Oh my God.
So that's Trinity Crisis. Multiverse's End is a book that's coming out that's going to show like what's happening on the remaining Earths of the multiverse. We'll probably see the Justice Incarnate with like President Superman and Aquawoman and stuff like that. What they're up to while all of this shit is happening. There's a few other ones.
So is this a crisis?
It's the anti-crisis is is the setup. The idea is that they have, in order to stop this thing, they have to undo every crisis that ever happened.
Someone could even say it's the final crisis.
Yeah, the ultimate crisis. Yeah. Listen, that's the shit I love about this event. The stuff I'm like, it's like, Manhattan, like, Batman who laughs. I'm like, I don't need to see that many more like evil Batman. Like, I know they're fun to come up with or whatever, and there's some like wacky ideas, but that to me is like whatever.
It's a bit played out, yeah.
I don't really care about that. What I want to see is like go back to the original Crisis. I want to see that shit. I was like, I want to hear about cosmic energies being funneled through Wally West. Like, that's the shit I'm there for. I live for that.
Yeah. The dorky shit.
Yeah, basically anything remotely
scientific,
like Star Trek, reverse the tachyon beam. And then, that would do it.
Get a giant tardigrade.
Yeah, that's the shit I'm there for. So, these tie-ins are mostly that kind of stuff as opposed to... So I'm in.
Yeah. That fucking Flash thing sounds awesome. That Trinity sounds awesome.
The speed metal one, because that's also Joshua Williamson, who's written the full run of Rebirth Flash, which has been outstanding.
Wow,
maybe one of the best Flash runs ever.
Wow.
Actually, I think it is the best Flash run.
Wow.
It's been outrageously good. It introduced Godspeed, Black Hole, Bloodwork, a new sort of version of the Turtle.
Wow.
It's been outrageously good. It introduced those other forces, which I kind of ended up liking, even though I thought it was stupid at the time.
Wow. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. So lots of death metal.
That's cool. I'm fucking into it. It makes me want to read it.
Yeah. I did have an interesting conversation online with someone on Twitter that was like, where's the Doom Patrol?
Oh, yeah.
Because some of this shit is like, this is where
Very
they live.
Doom Patrol,
and
yeah.
the craziest part is that there is a sentient location Batman from the Dark Multiverse. It's called Castle Bat. He's a Batman who infused his soul into Gotham City. He's basically like a Bat Danny the Street. So
wow.
where the fuck is the Doom Patrol?
Yeah, it's kind of what we were pitching on that Doom Patrol episode was like, we want a thing where it's too weird for the Justice League. And
of all of the crises, all the high concept shit they've ever had to do, if there was ever a time for the Doom Patrol to take center stage and for it to work, it's fucking death metal. It's this one.
And also, like,
who knows? Maybe that's a card up a sleeve somewhere, but like,
especially with like the whole metal thing and like Robot Man and like Crazy Jane, like it matches really well.
Oh yeah, tonally, I think so who knows? Maybe that's in the cards, but like,
if not, missed play.
Big missed opportunity.
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
No matter how much I like it, I'm going to die on that hill. Big missed opportunity if there's no Doom Patrol.
Yeah. Well, on to this week's theme.
Let's do it.
Flight. I like that you do the hand movements even though no one can see it. It's a thing that you classically do, and it warms my heart.
It's vintage me.
It's just for you and me.
That's me, baby.
Yes, we're going up and away for this episode, talking about all of our flying peoples.
Yeah. I mean, flight is that thing that like is almost like the forgotten power. Like,
it's like the first power, yeah.
But it's the power that people like don't count as a power.
Well,
it's like,
yeah,
it's like, what can you do? I'm super strong. It's like, and then it's like, you flew here, right? It's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
but my power is my strength.
I'm a superhero. Obviously, I fly. Yeah.
The flight is like, oh yeah, and they fly. Like, there's a couple of characters that flying is like their shit.
Yeah.
Like the Hawks, right? Like, they are like aerialists. And then other people just also fly, so it's easy to forget about. But there's all sorts of kinds of flight and things in DC, and I was like, well, I think we always forget about it. It'd be fun to talk about.
It's true, yeah, absolutely.
And what a better time to talk about things that are easily forgettable than an episode whose number is easily forgettable. This is the end of the hundreds.
I know.
Once we hit 200, people would be like 199. That was last 100. I'm not going to listen to that. So we might as well throw this kind of...
Wow. I mean,
a little peek behind the curtain.
Yeah, was that part of your process?
A little.
Wow, fucking loser.
Honestly, how many people listen to an episode 99 of anything?
I mean,
how many of you went back and listened to episode 99, The Sea King, about Aquaman? Which is, I can't believe I put him in that slot.
I can't believe it. Yeah, what a forgettable episode.
How dare you?
Forgettable hero.
You know why I put him in that slot? Is because it was the first episode back from Christmas, and Aquaman came out in December.
There we go. Yeah, that
was
sense.
why. But in hindsight, I never would have done that.
But we've done
I would have made him the hundo.
We've done 199 episodes, and Flight 1 ain't one.
Yeah, it's your boy,
Hova. So we got a ton of questions. We had a lot of questions. People wanted to talk about Flight.
Yeah. I think in general we're getting more questions as well, which is great because I've got this like growing stockpile for Docfist now.
I know, it's just funny we're being so successful just as we end the podcast. But
what?
Huh? What?
I don't remember signing off on that.
But I mean, you put the guns on the table. All right, let's go to Facebook.
Go to the Facebook. Go to the Facebook.
All right. First question comes from We've Only Just done. Who asks? Might as well ask, how exactly does Superman fly?
Even that question was like, this is a throwaway episode.
Yeah.
Might as well ask.
Yeah, I don't know. How does fucking Superman fly? Yeah.
Yeah, Superman.
With intent.
Yeah, I mean, Superman. So everything we know about his powers, there's nothing inherent that indicates why he should be able to fly. Jumping the leaping tall buildings makes a ton of sense. Strong muscles. You absorb that yellow sun radiation and makes you strong, makes you impervious. None of that really explains, like, how do you defy gravity?
No.
You know what I mean? And there have been a few different versions of things from different eras, right? Different retcons and stuff. Some versions, it was like a form of like extremely specific, extremely localized telekinesis.
Yeah.
That he couldn't apply it to anything else. I mean, Superboy had that tactile telekinesis thing, which was like an actual telekinesis.
Yeah.
But Superman for a bit had basically like telekinetic flight, but he could never use it to like just move a pencil or some shit like that. It was only for flight. Other versions have been that he actually can manipulate like gravitational field around himself. Again, not like it's not the way he thinks about it. He's not saying like altering gravity field and then he flies, but you know, in the way that we don't have to think about breathing or stuff like that. He just sort of automatically can do it.
Wait, you don't think about breathing. Oh no, I'm thinking about breathing. Do you ever do that where you think about the process of breathing and then you're just like, oh my God.
I know, when you accidentally override the automatic processes of your body, you're like, oh, God damn it.
Oh no, how do I get it to do auto again?
Yeah, I don't even know how to make my heart beat.
Yeah, look at that photo of Chris Evans that just popped up online.
Oh, that'll make it stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a version where he sort of manipulates his own gravitational field. I think that is maybe...
How?
I think that one is closer to a science fiction-y thing, because you could say like he's taking in all of this solar energy, it's affecting his cells, and that maybe he has a sort of subconsciously he can affect his own density and stuff like
that. How does he do it?
Maybe that's part of why he's invulnerable, is that he is super dense. If he's super dense, he has his own gravity. If he can sort of manipulate that, he could potentially figure that shit out.
It just was science. Shut up.
But like, I mean, no one has ever gone through every piece of it. Now, there have been little fun tidbits. Like, for example, on the Supergirl show, they revealed that the reason he's got the cape is that it sort of helps with his aerodynamics. So like, I think she tries to fly without the cape, but it doesn't work. Or like, it's hard to control or something. So then, like, the advice she gets is like, use the cape. And then she has more control. Like, it's not necessarily that they explain the science, but they sort of like
explain pieces of it.
They narratively give you like, and this is why this is there.
Yes.
Or something like that, right? I mean, Man of Steel in that movie, when he flies for the first time, he's leaping.
Yeah.
And he keeps leaping, and then he leaps one time, and right as he's like at the apex of his jump, he just pushes again and he flies.
Yeah.
So they don't explain what that process is, but it's like an extension of...
Yeah, like he's pushing against the sky.
And when he goes to jump off, you know, like the rocks kind of move around him. So I think you could say that they're going with that sort of localized telekinesis kind of idea for Man of Steel, right? I mean, ultimately, some of those things don't make any sense, because Superman flies in deep space where there's nothing for him to like repel his own gravity against.
No.
So like, how does he fly there? He just fucking does is the answer. Like, there's no...
Yeah.
He just does. Yeah, I mean, that's... Weirdly, it's so iconic, right? I mean, he didn't start flying in the comics, but in his initial adventures.
Oh, really?
But, yeah, I think it might have been the Fleischer cartoons was the first time he flew in the 40s.
Oh, wow.
But...
Was he the first hero to get a cape?
I mean, he's like one of the first heroes ever. But
I know.
I mean, technically, I guess. I mean, some of those early ones, like the Crimson Avenger, he has like a cloak that has sort of like the capey element to it.
Like, so it was less like somebody was just like, capes are cool, but more of like an evolution to that.
Superman is really the first to have that sort of like strongman look with the cape. The sort of what we now consider classic superhero sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Superman flying is like one of the most iconic images, and it's probably the least defined kind of flight.
Wow.
You know, Hawkman, you just go like wings.
Yeah.
Great. Got it. Like
Green Lantern
you
got
go, like,
the thing around him.
Willpower.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Legion flight ring made of nth metal. Like, you just like all of these things, you go like, okay, there's an explanation. Superman is the one who's like, how?
It's like, Superman, shut up. That's how.
It's kind of just because he can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he can fucking do whatever he wants.
Pretty much.
Yeah. A little bit. All right. That's as close as you're going to get to an answer. So let's move on.
Yeah.
Next question comes from Trey Shove.
Whoa, it's Trey Shove. Yeah, it's not even a little bit shove. It's like Trey Shove.
Going to the beach, bring some bread. That's a shove.
Yeah. Yeah, I pinched a shove and it was Trey Shove.
I had a lot to eat last night and I've not gone just dose, but Trey shove.
Yeah, well, we're having a lot of people over for a sandwich party, so I needed Trey shoves of bread.
Yeah, I think we did what we're going to do with that. Trey Shove asks...
When they have a family get-together, are they shoves with a
The
V?
shoves?
Like, because shove is singular.
That's true.
We're the shoves.
We're the... It's a lot more than Trey.
Tro? Tro shove.
Whoa.
It's too much.
That's too much. Trey Shove asks, is there a force that all flying characters call on? Similar to the Speed Force, the Green, or other DC forces, but relating to flying? If you had to come up with one, what would it be called?
Technically, no, there isn't. Though various times of different continuities, for example, like post Flashpoint Earth 2, and some earlier one, there was a thing called, I think it was called the Clear, that was meant to be kind of like the air force in the way that the green is plant life. But the blue was like the ocean, but it was both plants and animals.
Yeah.
The Clear was supposed to be like that for air, where they were like these things between that they were more about like what domain are the things in, and then you'd have green and red and stuff inside it. You know what I mean? So the idea of like a domain of air has happened before, and sometimes it's tied to people having like air elemental powers, like on Earth 2.
It would make sense that some of them could fly through it, though.
Yeah, so in those specific continuities, you could make an argument that anyone flying likely connects in some small way to that version, right? In the way that like anyone with an animal power likely in some small way connects to the red.
Yeah.
You could probably make that argument. But it's sort of dubious continuity-wise.
It's not like part of any major continuities.
It's not like every time Hawkman shows up, he goes like, I felt a disturbance in the Clear. Or like it just, they don't say it. That never comes up. It's rare. It's barely a continuity thing.
I'm going clear, and that doesn't mean Scientology.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the Scientology universe.
Yeah. L. Ron Hubbard came here and created that Speed Force, the Air Force.
Yeah, so there's not really one of those things. There's things that have alluded to it, but not really. But if you had to come up with one, I mean,
the Clear's a pretty good one.
Clear's all right. I mean, I don't know. I could call it Old Gusty.
Wow,
haven't felt Old Gusty.
Oh no.
I don't know. I mean, there are air elementals and things like that. To me, the idea of like, I don't know. For some reason, I just never think of flight that way. I'm so accustomed to thinking of speed. I mean, there are people that use speed and don't access the Speed Force. So it's not even like everyone with speed does that. So maybe it just doesn't feel, it feels even less connected for flight, where it's like, what does it matter? Like, some people will use this flight thing, some people won't.
What is it?
I think it feels like they don't connect enough.
Yeah. The Sky Force.
Yeah. I don't know what you would.
Flight Force
Alpha.
Yeah.
Highway to the danger zone. Flight Force. Yeah, I guess maybe if you were, I think the thing that maybe would make more sense would also kind of help answer the Superman question, which is if you were part of a force that had a connection to gravity as opposed to air. You know what I mean? Like, it's not about the air, it's about releasing yourself from the bounds of physics.
Yeah.
The closest thing we have to that is actually the strength force has a connection to gravity in the way that the Speed Force has a connection to lightning.
That's interesting.
The Strength Force, Fuerza, kind of has like gravity and geomancy powers.
Yeah.
Now, we've seen her use it sort of the opposite way, but theoretically, I guess she could use it to
reduce gravity.
Maybe?
Yeah.
That's maybe the closest we've gotten to the way I would conceive of a quote-unquote flight force.
Gravity working against me.
I was about to...
What? Tell me.
This is so on brand for me. I thought you were going to sing Gravity by Soul Decision.
I'm sorry. I don't know that song. How does it go? I can't remember.
Gravity always pulling down on me.
I mean, mine's not much better. I was going for the John Mayer song.
Neither of us went for Wicked.
Oh, yeah. I'm defying gravity. I hope I get it. God, I hope I get it.
Fucking chorus line. How dare you?
How many people does he need? How many boys? How many girls? You
strike me as a woman who's never been satisfied. Oh, fucking Hamilton. So good. Sorry, next question. Sorry. We're going on. This is not the musical theater episode.
I mean,
I believe I can fly.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
You know what? I was only thinking of Space Jam and completely forgot that was R. Kelly.
That's not good at all. Next question comes from Alex Sanchez, who asks, do the Thanagarians need their wings for flight, or does the nth metal give them that power? Is it a combination of both wings and nth metal?
Right. So, again, multiple continuities. There are different versions of this, but I think the maybe most recent, maybe the closest one that we've got is that most Thanagarians... I'm going to confuse myself with the New 52 thing here. It was that Thanagarians originally could all fly because they had wings. And then in a war with another planet, there was like a biological weapon that basically like ruined their wings and they couldn't fly. Okay. So then you got like the Thanagarians that would wear like the flight suits that sort of looked like the 90s Hawkman, like artificial kind of like metal wing. Like they looked like... They look like Falcon or something like that. Like it was like an actual suit, like fake wings. But some Thanagarians have a natural affinity and connection to nth metal, and if they can manipulate nth metal, they can make real wings out of it, and they can fly that way. However, nth metal itself has gravity negating properties. So if you just having the metal can make you defy gravity. I think where the wings come in is
but you can't bring me down.
I think where the wings come in is that the Hawks, especially like Hawkman and Hawkwoman and Hawkgirl, but in general, they are skilled aerialists. Superman can fly. Hawkman is the best.
Yeah.
Right? Like the Hawks are the best flyers. They're not necessarily the fastest or whatever, but they are the most skilled. They're like Top Gun, right?
Yeah.
Like Superman's a 747. Like the Hawks are fighter jets is the best way to think about it, right? I think that's the thing. So the nth metal on its own might negate gravity, but that's not the same as flying. The wings are really the thing that like that's where you fly with purpose and direction and agility and the things you would associate with those kind of characters. So it is kind of a combination thing of nth metal and wings, basically, is how the Hawks make it happen.
Oh. Nice.
Tight.
Yeah. Next question comes from Braden Ketty, who asks, I understand that the power of the ring gives Green Lanterns the ability to bring whatever they imagine to life. My question is, how does the ring give them the ability to fly?
Right. So flight is not a construct, right? Like if they can go like ring, screwdriver or whatever.
Or ring plane and then
exactly
that can fly.
But even at that, they're making a construct of a plane. It is not full of a construct of fuel. Like, how is even that plane flying?
Yeah, but the wind, you could get the propeller to to move.
I mean, yes, I guess technically you could do some sort of physicsy thing. There might be an actual answer to this written down somewhere, but I'm kind of going to go off script and sort of, this is how I assume it works. There are some things that the ring does that don't really work the way we know constructs work. For example, their uniforms are actual cloth uniforms that are not just constructs. I mean, it is a construct, but it doesn't
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about the movie. But you know what I mean? It's not him just in a bulky green glowing light thing. It's like an actual thing. Batman could grab it and it works like cloth. They could do that. When they're in space, they have the green aura around them. But that aura is not a bubble. Otherwise, not only do they have to manage how much power their ring has, they would have to manage their air intake, because they'd just be I only brought enough that was in the bubble when I left the last planet.
That's interesting.
That's clearly not happening. They're just willing infinite amount of breathable air. So there are things that the ring does that are based solely on willpower and don't necessarily manifest as a construct. And that includes their breathable air and their uniforms. Mm-hmm. So I think flight for them is the same thing. Just the defying gravity thing is just an exercise of willpower. They don't need to make a construct of a propeller to go off the ground. They can just will being off the ground, and they just are. And because that's not a thing that has to manifest physically, it doesn't. Fair. That's the way I read it. It's the thing that makes the most sense. It's the thing that's the least complicated. The only other sort of addendum to that is while flying or moving through space, if you want to call that flying, they do have an ability to access what is called transluminal space, where they basically ride light faster than light. Mm-hmm. That's how they can move from one end of the universe to the other.
Or there's that whole
in enough time for the story to work.
Yeah, there's those little sails, the space sails too.
Oh yeah, I mean they can make actual constructs for that sort of stuff. They can also make dimensional tears, wormholes. Yeah, they can do lots of stuff that can sort of shorten distances and things.
That's like outside of just creating a construct. Yeah,
but to me, the flight is just a pure act of will that doesn't show up as a construct,
because it's
not. I think that's the thing that makes the most sense.
The rings do more than just create constructs.
Well, that's just it, right? Yeah. And the clearest other example I have is the breathable air thing. It's for sure they're not
they didn't announce them.
If they had unlimited power in their ring and they flew up into space with the aura around them, it's not that they'd be fuck, my air's out, but my aura is still good. I'm just going to choke to death of my own Green Lantern aura. They just breathe forever if their ring doesn't run out of charge. So I think that's just the willpower just makes it so, and that's the will.
Make it so.
Make it so.
Engage.
Michael Caine.
Engage.
It's definitely Michael Caine. Master Wade. Deck 15, Crime Alley.
Gotta take the turbo lift.
I'll give Joe Chill a phaser, set it to kill.
Engage. Better?
No, I mean, it's
he has
Michael
a little
Caine.
bit of that.
He doesn't.
He does.
You're doing too much of the oi. Patrick Stewart doesn't have any Cockney. It would be engage.
And that's a little too American.
Shut up, Wesley.
There you go. That's
yeah, that's my keystone phrase. Shut up, Wesley.
Shut up, Wesley. Oh, look, I got it too. Crusher, I do know her.
When I was in the academy, I did.
Yeah.
Just douchey Picard crushed her pelvis, more like. Am I right, Will?
She got a riser out of me.
That's the version of Picard that doesn't get his heart stabbed.
Yes.
That's the that timeline where he just stays arrogant and shit like that. He just becomes a big fucking douchebag instead of the meek science officer that they portray. He should have been a douchey party bro. He would have been on Lower Decks.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Oh, this is my favorite idea we've had in a while.
God, Worf, bothering me so much. Stop being such a Klingon.
Yeah, that Picard would like make Worf pledge.
Yeah.
Do they still have like frats and stuff in the 24th century?
Oh my god, that's incredible. Hell yeah. God, I want that. Or I just want like the Picard the college years.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Stop being such a pussy. Chug, chug, chug.
It would be the thing from Lower Decks with the head in the replicator.
Yes.
Oh my god, we're just pitching Lower Decks.
Yeah.
Damn it.
We'll have to talk about it.
All the good ideas are made by people more talented than us. And also made in advance so that they can inspire the good ideas in us.
Yeah, so it was their idea.
Yeah.
We stole them.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Fuck.
Let's leave Facebook and head on over to Twitter.
Twitter.
First question comes from our favorite, spacey, sexy texter.
Cosmic DM.
Cosmic DM.
You're going to keep going for it.
Forever, yeah. Who asks, how does Superman fly faster?
Right.
Does he just squeeze his butt cheeks together or something?
Yeah, I mean, let's move past the fact that I basically said I have no idea how Superman flies. Let's just have a fun game of speculate. How do you think he like regulates his speed? Because Superman doesn't just only fly at one speed.
Yeah.
He can fly slowly, he can hover, he can float, he can go supersonic, he can...
My thought process was it was just based on intent. Like,
right, like but do you think that intent does anything physically? Do you think he like flexes harder or
a Flex Mentallo situation? Yeah.
Well, not that the flex itself does it, but do you think he clenches?
I think a little bit
when he goes faster.
Like I think I mean
I think it would be funny if it was the opposite.
Just relax. And
that like his natural speed is supersonic and he has to fucking work to float. Like every time he floats gently with Lois down, he's like, every muscle is like, he's like never relaxed.
That would be terrible.
Yeah. Every day he's just like, I need to have all my muscles flexed or I will literally fly off this planet.
Or that's just for all of his abilities. Like anytime he needs to use the abilities.
Right, that it's the inverse. Yeah. He has to work to not have it happen.
So it's just like, I'm going to grab this now. And it's just like...
I mean, that makes Superman's life the worst.
Because that
completely nullifies the dream of being Superman.
Because it's not like he has to...
It's not like he has to be delicate. It's that he has to...
He has to try... Well, he does, but he has to try so hard to be delicate.
Yeah.
So it's like him fighting just a regular criminal. He's trying so hard,
I mean,
but not because the battle is difficult, but because of the restraint.
Flex your hand and try to pick something up gently. Is basically what we're pitching. Yeah. I mean, that's hilarious. It's almost certainly not how it works, but that would be really, really funny.
That's really funny, which is funny because like Darkseid, he's just the whole time he's just like super casual, and just like
that's the best day of the week. Fighting Darkseid.
Yeah,
it's like I can finally shit.
Yeah, he's just like let it go. His whole body is just like, all right, here we go.
Yeah, man, I've had a rough week. I gotta go fight Darkseid.
Yeah,
blow off some steam.
Just comes back with like a cigarette in his mouth, just like
never been so relaxed. It's like getting the knots worked out. Like he just fights Darkseid. And he's like, God, I'm loose.
I've been just tense all week long. That's really
funny. I mean, I at this point I don't care what the real answer is. I like that.
Fuck that. We're right.
Yeah.
Next question comes from Adam talking Superman. Oh, what a perfect episode for you.
I mean, we're talking about Flay. It could be anybody.
I know, but I mean, come on. What abilities does a Legion flight ring provide? What non-flying character would you give one to for a story?
Right. So a Legion flight ring is made out of a metal called Valorium, which is like an alloy. Did you say lore?
Yeah. It's the it's the like compound that creates the like information.
It's Valorium.
Oh, okay. I thought you just said Lorium.
You know, like the Chancellor Palpatine replaced. Who's played by fucking Terrence Stamp somehow.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, General Zod. So Valorium is an alloy of nth metal. So we've talked about nth metal a little bit. It has an inherent anti-grav kind of property to it. But nth metal is also this very, very weird, very mysterious metal that has a lot of other properties. Now, how many of these directly move over when you alloy it with something else and make Valorium?
Yeah.
Who knows? But here are some things that I think there's enough comic evidence to support. So, flying, obviously, because anti-gravity. Got it. Done. Like a sort of protective aura. Not exactly like a Green Lantern one. It wouldn't protect you from damage, but it would protect you from like the elements or allow you to like survive in space.
Yeah.
Like Hawkman is like shirtless in the Arctic and he's fine. And that's partly because of the nth metal. He sort of has a protective aura. So I think as a Legionnaire, if you have a flight ring and you're bouncing boy, now you can go into space. You don't need to put like a mask on or a helmet or something like that. You can just go. I think that's a reasonable nth metal trait that those rings have. Similarly, the breathable air kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's that sort of bubble. If you're out there, you can maybe exist in space, but you can still get stabbed with a normal knife. If you could get stabbed with a knife normally, this aura would not stop that. But yeah, the breathable air, the protection from cold or heat or stuff like that. I think those are traits that the Legion flight ring would bestow. Beyond that, I don't know that we've ever seen some of nth metal's weirder properties explored from the perspective of that Legion ring. Like, nth metal is supposed to be magic nullifying. Like, you can use nth metal against magic.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't think we've ever seen that with the Legion ring. And maybe that's because it's an alloy, so takes that out of the equation or something like that. Like, the Legion's big adversary is Mordru, right? If they had magic nullifying rings on all of their fingers, he wouldn't be as big of a threat as he is.
That's true, yeah.
So I think it's safe to say that sort of that part of nth metal doesn't make it. There's things like you can telepathically control nth metal, make it take on new shapes and stuff like that. Legionnaires cannot make their ring temporarily into something else.
Yeah.
They don't get any of that shit. So that stuff isn't there. So I think we're really only talking about the flying, the protective aura, and sort of breathable air bubble.
Yeah.
I think really that's what we got.
So who would you want to give one for a story?
Oh, right. A Legion ring. I mean, just for a story, give it to Batman.
I mean, for sure.
Because I don't necessarily love the, give Batman Superman's powers. That's, too much.
Yeah.
But let Batman fly. That's kind of cool. There's
especially because he's a bat, right?
There's a cool episode of The Batman, that animated series.
Yeah.
The one that's got the big jacked fucking Joker or whatever. But there's an episode with Green Lantern, and Batman puts the ring on. He doesn't really figure out constructs, but he flies. Sinestro chases him, and he's got the long cape, and he's just it's just cool as hell. Batman legitimately flying is pretty neat. I give it to Batman. I think that's a ton of fun.
I want to give it to Swamp Thing, just because I think it's hilarious with the idea of just being not
be so clumsy,
so out of his element, just kind of floating around and not being able to move anything because it's he's detached from the green.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. If I was thinking of what would be a thing where I could reasonably make Swamp Thing fly, I would think more because he can manifest through any plants.
Yeah.
What if he manifested a full body out of a loose collection of pollen?
Yeah.
And then you had this sort of pollen shaped, Swamp Thing shaped cloud of pollen.
That would totally work.
I would that would be the thing where it's that's a legitimate way to make Swamp Thing fly. You put the Legion ring on him, and then all of a sudden I'd picture him being whoa.
That's exactly what
Charlie
I pictured.
in the Chocolate Factory,
Yes.
Whoa.
It's exactly the image I had in my mind. Just so disconnected from what he's comfortable with.
Not ethereal, not graceful at all. Just whoa. I kind of like that. That's funny.
That's my guess. Next question comes from the Senator. James Paulson,
Ooh.
Who asks, which hero who had flight would you most like to see lose that ability for a story / balancing purposes? Which hero without it would it be most interesting to see gain the ability? So kind of we just answered that question, but...
Yeah, I mean, I don't think my answer to the second half is different than who I would give the Legion ring to.
Swamp Thing.
But the first half, like, who's a character that can fly where, like, for a story, you take that away from them?
See, that's interesting.
I mean, we've sort of seen him with Superman, but when we see it with Superman, it's that he's generally depowered. It's never just that he can't fly.
For me, it seems like Hawkman would be the interesting one.
Well, yeah, I mean, you take that away from Hawkman, and it's like, well, fuck.
What else? What do you got?
I mean, yeah, you could die and come back, I guess.
It's just him constantly dying and just coming back and trying to just...
He's obviously a good fighter, and that I'm being, like, facetious, but like, flying is sort of his gig.
Yes.
Like...
I just have this picture
that
of
almost
just
feels
like...
unfair. Like, it's too much.
Like, if it was an animated thing, it would just be like he loses his power. He's just constantly trying to like attack somebody and just keeps dying, and then like piles of like his body. It just keeps coming from like different places
because he's instantly reincarnated.
Yeah, it's like just like from different places as him like just slowly piling.
It's like the
up.
World War Z thing. He can't get into a tall building, so he just keeps dying and piling himself up until he can climb his own corpses to get over. Again, very fucking funny. That's such an insane idea. I do kind of like that. That's very funny.
Is there anybody else that flies that we would want to see?
I think take it from Martian Manhunter.
Oh, that's interesting.
He's got so much else going on.
That's true, yeah. I mean, it's kind of just the take it from Superman thing, but yeah.
I guess, yeah, but yeah, I mean, I suppose you're right. But I don't know, like it's... Yeah, I guess I'm not sure where I was going with that. I just thought, take it away from him.
Yeah.
I don't know that I have more to it than that. Fine, call me out on all my bullshit. Yeah, whatever. I don't have a good idea.
I guess go to the next question from Ryan Putney. You put your elbow in, you put your knee out.
Put your...
And you shake it all about. Ryan Putney has a question, so we'll ask it just right now. That's what it's all about.
That was beautiful.
I'm not just a pretty face. No, I am just a pretty face. Yeah, you're right. If the Flash was able to fly... Whoa. Do you think he would still be able to access the Speed Force? Also, who are the top 5 fastest flyers in DC?
I mean, strictly speaking, Flash kind of can fly because he could do the helicopter arms thing and make...
It's not super fast, but it's...
Well, he's using the Speed Force to make his arms move quickly.
Yes.
But him moving through the air is not super speed. You know what I mean? Yeah. But he could do like the wind vortex thing and kind of fly, but it's clumsy. He's like, we talked about how Hawkman is a better flyer than Superman.
Yeah.
Like Flash is like not a flyer. He's just in the air when he does that. Like that's
he's
all.
Hovering more than anything else.
Yeah. He's like those people with those weird fucking water jetpacks. It's like you're technically up there, but you have this much control.
Yeah.
Like, at any moment, this is going to go horribly.
I feel like his ability to use the Speed Force is based on like his physical body moving or something. So it just depends on how he's flying.
I think it's the connection thing. Like even on the Flash TV show, I think it was in season 2 when he's fighting Zoom, like one of the first times he fights Zoom, and he needs to level the playing field because Zoom is so much faster. He runs up the Star Labs building and and he jumps and he makes Zoom follow him and jump because in free fall their super speed doesn't count for anything.
Yeah.
So while they're falling, he can actually fight Zoom. It's the thing it's like halfway through season 2 or something that happens. And I think that intuitively, that's the way it makes sense. Like, he still has access to the Speed Force in the air. He could punch super fast while being in the air.
Yeah.
But I don't think he can fly super fast because nothing about his speed is just about like random movement. He doesn't have anything to put his foot on to move, right?
Yeah.
So he could move his arms super fast and make those vortex things, but he could only move as fast as like how fast does anything that makes a vortex
It's based on like
move,
his
right?
physical movement. And so unless he's like flapping, which we already can do that and it's not very fast.
I think it's
he
just
is accessing the Speed Force to do that.
Yeah, there's just not enough for him to push off against, right? It's not like running on the ground or even on water or
because even if he
vibrating through something.
If he was given the flight ability through being able to like access, like even if it's through like a gravitational thing, that has nothing to do with what his Speed Force is connected to, which is his physical body.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he would ever rank among actual flyers.
That being said, who are the fastest flyers?
Fastest flyers. I mean, Superman, way up there.
Yeah. Hawkman.
Hawkman must be up there. He's definitely cracking the top 5. This is in no particular order, I would say. Superman, Hawkman, Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
I'm going to put Firestorm in there.
Oh, yeah.
I think Firestorm can probably move pretty quickly. God, the speed thing is interesting because who else would be a very fast flyer? I guess like a lantern, right? The lanterns can move crazy fast, so lanterns have to be up there.
Okay, yeah,
yeah. I think that's sort of your list. Lots of people can fly, but a lot of the people that can fly can also do other... Like, I wouldn't put Dr. Fate in there. Dr. Fate can fly, and he's magic, but he also could just teleport, so you just, like, open a portal and go somewhere. Like, he would never just do that.
So, but who do you think the fastest flyer is? Is it Carter Hart? Is it Oscar Lindblom? Claude Giroux? Nolan Patrick?
You're naming Philadelphia Flyers? Also, Claude Giroux, man.
This is America.
Fucking Philadelphia Flyers. Amazing. You can actually make those references with me and I'll get them.
I know, that's why I said it. Yeah. I wouldn't have.
Well, yeah, you called him Giroux.
Yeah, Claude Giroux.
Claude Giroux? Is there a Claude Giroux?
What about a Jerome Schwarma?
You said all of their names like you were delivering a package to them.
I mean, I could. Not a Chris Evans package, mind you, but
I mean, none of us can.
You haven't even seen it yet. I'm gonna pull it up.
Do you think when he like goes to fly, he has to go into the oversized baggage check-in?
That, I mean, it's. I'm pulling it. I'm gonna pull it out because.
Okay.
Because you haven't seen it yet.
We're gonna violate his privacy and gleefully talk about it.
I mean, here's the thing. He put it out there.
I mean, not on purpose.
Yeah, but as soon as it gets online, like, it's different if like someone stole it.
I don't know. This line of reasoning makes me uncomfortable, but I do kind of want to see it.
I mean, look, all I'm saying is he's been wearing the tight pants forever.
Yeah. So apparently he's not just America's ass.
Well, it's America's ass. It's his dick.
Oh, God. I will say I have enjoyed the way he spun that into like a please go vote thing where he's like, now that everyone's paying attention. I thought that was kind of funny. Oh, good Lord. Oh, my God.
So that's his hand, just as like an indicator.
Christ. Okay, all right, it's still there. Yeah, I get it. It's
a human arm.
Yeah, it's holding a TV remote. Yeah.
somehow giving me the finger? I don't...
What were we talking about?
A baby's arm holding an apple.
No,
Jesus
before
Christ.
that.
What? Oh, I don't know.
How the hell did we get on that?
I mean, how
do we get on that?
I mean, that really is the question, isn't it?
I've completely lost my ability to think.
Well, the question was the top 5 fastest flyers. Who do you think is the fastest?
Oh, I mean, I guess it's technically got to be a lantern because they move faster than the speed of light.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Superman would be behind that. I think. Yeah.
All right. Oh, fuck. Next question.
All right.
Raging G, killing chodes. Raging G, kissing toads.
Excuse me?
You heard me.
Yikes. Killing chodes? Kissing toads? All right.
It's been a while. Raging G asks, in Dragon Ball, when it was first shown, flight was a rare technique, and then everybody and their mothers knew how to fly. Was flight so prominent in early DC as well, or as years went by, they went, you can fly too, as well as you too, and made flight an open season power as well.
Right. I mean, I don't know that it was ever a thing that they were like guarding. Like, we should really keep a lid on how many people can fly. I mean, like I said, Superman didn't initially fly.
Yeah.
But as soon as they were like, and he could fly, then he just flew. Green Lantern could fly. The original,
right
the Golden Age one.
Yeah.
Dr. Fate could fly.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of a character like Hawkman could fly.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a character that like couldn't and then could. I mean, we have a question for this later, so I won't get too deep into it. Wonder Woman has a weird relationship to flight. That's a very on again, off again, just depending on who has read what.
It's like her relationship with Superman. Yeah.
You know what? I didn't hate that.
Really?
I wouldn't have ever wanted it to be permanent, but like as like a stop on the way to Lois and Steve.
Yeah,
I was okay with it.
Yeah. What about Batman?
I'm hard a Wonder Bat shipper.
Really?
Because of that fucking cartoon, man. It just made me want it.
Yeah.
I'd fight hard for Wonder Bat, but whatever. I don't think DC had that thing with Dragon. Like, DC has that with other things, which like death, right? Like death is DC's thing, like Dragon Ball, where it's like, well, no one can die, and then it was like one person died. It's like, we brought it back, and then it was like, well, what if everyone could die and come back? And it's like, all right, fine, do it. Like, and it was just like to the point where even in the comics, they're like, why are we even having funerals? Like, or at a funeral, they just go like, well, here, fingers crossed for a resurrection. Like, I'm pretty sure they say that at Martian Manhunter's funeral. Superman's eulogy ends with, let's pray for a resurrection.
God'll bring Dean back for sure.
Oh. What's gonna happen to them? I'm getting like actually stressed out about the last 7 episodes.
Did you see that recent photo they had where they were wearing the... Yeah.
Just don't talk to me about it. Yeah, I would say DC's thing like that is death. I don't think flying was ever a thing that they were being really precious with, and then it was just like, and everyone can fucking fly. I mean, almost like a lot of people can fucking fly, but I don't feel about it that way. I think for me, it's the dying and coming back thing. I do understand that Dragon Ball thing though, because it really was a thing where it's like he can fly, and then it was like everyone. It just was like less and less special as time went on.
Exactly. Yeah, it used to be like it's a bird, it's a plane. Oh my god, it's a flying man. Like,
yeah. No, I don't feel that way about DC for that.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's leave Twitter and head on over to Instagram.
Now we're going to Instagram, take some questions and answer them.
We'll answer them. Ski bye.
Oh, baby, I hear the blues are calling. To salads and
Superman. He's flying again.
Doom, doom, doom. Metropolis.
Good night. Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
First question comes from Robbie's Just This Guy asking a question to another guy on a podcast. God, I hope you kids can make it work. Who asks, is there an explanation for non-winged flight? Do Superman, Captain Marvel's flight abilities differ greatly? What with science and magic?
Yeah, so we've talked about Superman to death.
Yeah.
Captain
Marvel.
Captain Marvel. Shazam. His flight powers are based in magic, but it's specifically based in the Z of his name. He has the power of Zeus. Now, a lot of that has to do with the fact that he's so like electrokinetic now. Like Shazam in comics now throws way more lightning than Captain Marvel ever did. Yeah. But so that's a lot of the power of Zeus thing. But Zeus is the god of the sky. He's not the god of thunder, right? So flight. I gotta say that moment in Ragnarok really did it for me.
Yeah, it fucking ruled.
Yeah, it was pretty tight. But like he's the god of the sky, so the reason that Shazam can fly is because of the power of Zeus.
Yeah,
right. If the Z was replaced with something else, he wouldn't be able to fly. Mm-hmm. That is not connected to any of those other. It's not Solomon or Hercules or Atlas or Achilles or Mercury, right? So, so it's not only just magic. So that's the. Like, how does he fly physics wise? It's just like it's fucking magic.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's an
easy one.
Yeah.
But how does he fly? It's because he's specifically siphoning the power of Zeus. If he had to sub out that god, he might not be able to fly. It might not be replaced with one where he could use the power for flying.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right. Last question from Instagram from the real Josh Gill.
Gill.
Josh Gill official.
What? This is the first time I think in 200 episodes almost that you haven't said sexy Gill.
I'm going for a new thing for the 200s.
Is it Chris Evans?
Yeah, I moved on.
It broke the spell?
Yeah. I mean, unless let's just say
it also broke your back.
A photo was to appear.
Oh my god! Are you trying to solicit?
Whoa! I didn't say anything.
Are you trying to solicit?
I didn't ask.
You're going to what website is this? JoshHub.com.
Look, just if a photo appears on there,
you're typing. Your search term is Cam Joshes.
I'm really more of just like an amateur Josh fan, but like that's the best way to
verified
get to it.
Amateur Josh.
Yeah, no, I don't want somebody's first time on there.
Yeah.
I'm not willing to pay for it.
I've been looking up a lot of real Josh Gill estate ones.
I still prefer Josh Buss.
Josh Buss. Josh. Oh man. Sometimes I'll go for a good old fashioned casting Josh.
Just like a BJW.
Yeah. I like JOV, Josh of View.
Josh of View.
Yeah.
Not a point of Josh.
No, a Josh of View. I'm standing by it.
I like Josh playing.
Oh yeah. Josh play is a big one.
Yeah, when Josh dresses like Josh.
Just other people dressing like Josh, or Josh dressing
like himself.
Okay. Yeah. Josh play. Yeah.
I like when he wears old face makeup.
Yeah. Jilf.
Jolf.
Jagilf. Josh Gill. Let's see. Can we keep this going? I mean, I don't know a bunch of different fucking search terms.
Yeah, I think we got as far as we can with this.
Surprised we didn't bring up Step Josh again.
I know, but I mean that's always our go-to.
Yeah. I like where Josh has to like reach under the weight machine for something and then he can't get out.
I like where Josh and his friends are playing video games and then they just go behind them.
You know, sometimes you just want to see someone get double joshed.
Whatever, they run a gill on you? Wait, I got it.
Oh no. No. Oh no.
To Bujashi.
That's it. That's the end of the bit. That was the pinnacle. Bujashi, Jesus Christ. Dash will turn off the podcast.
Good Lord. Yeah, comedy's the career I'm going for now.
Bujashi. Oh, God. I mean, I hate to say this out loud, but I think we need a shirt in the merch store.
Just a list of them all?
With the Josh Hub logo at the top and then the search terms under, yeah.
Josh Pie.
Oh. No. Juckhold. Sorry, we're done. Bujashi was the best one. We gotta end it there. What does Josh ask? Josh, I'm so sorry, by the way.
I'm not. To get to that genius, it was worth it.
Yeah, genius.
What is up with the inconsistency in Wonder Woman in depicting her with the ability of... Oh, God. Why the Wonder Woman question? What is up with the inconsistency in Wonder Woman and depicting her with the ability to fly?
Yeah, well, unlike Josh, we respect Wonder Woman, so we're going to treat this question very seriously.
She's a respectable woman. She deserves all the respect.
Yeah, not a dirty whore like Josh. Oh, Christ, I'm so sorry.
I love a good glory gill.
I was going to call it a Joshy hole. Should be a gilly hole. But
I mean...
Fuck. No, stop. We're done. Okay,
Josh Palatian.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
As sort of a weird, fraught history of sometimes very clearly depicted as being able to fly, sometimes very obviously cannot fly.
Yeah.
I think original Golden Age Wonder Woman couldn't fly, and that's why she had what they called back then the robot plane.
Yeah.
Now the invisible jet. But she couldn't fly. That was the thing.
Yeah.
And then it was like she could kind of fly, or sometimes she'd fly, or she could fly, and she also had a jet. Or obviously in the late 60s, early 70s, she lost all of her powers, so definitely couldn't fly during that the mod kind of Wonder Woman era. Live action, I'm pretty sure neither Linda Carter nor Gal Gadot are portrayed as being able to fly. Gal Gadot can leap very far, and for like this much time at the end of the Wonder Woman movie, she sort of hovers in the air right before she kills Ares.
Yeah.
But for the most part, does
Can't
not
fly.
fly. Even in the Wonder Woman 1984 trailer and in Justice League, Wonder Woman doesn't fly. She jumps very far. In that 1984 trailer, it looks like she's using the lasso as a propeller.
Yeah.
We also see her in a plane and stuff like that. So those depictions of Wonder Woman very expressly cannot fly. Wonder Woman in the comics very much can fly. I guess you would say possibly for the more modern version of Wonder Woman, because she is given life by Zeus, either by being literally Zeus's child or Zeus turning the clay into Wonder Woman.
Yes.
You could make the same argument as you do for Shazam, that she is imbued with a portion of Zeus's power. Not that she can throw thunderbolts or anything, but that she can fly. Her twin brother, Jason, literally has some of Zeus's sky powers. He has wind manipulation powers and stuff like that. He has more literal version of Zeus's powers. They're twins. So I think it stands to reason that that Wonder Woman can fly because of Zeus.
Yeah.
Zeus's influences, Zeus's power. I think it makes sense for Wonder Woman to fly. Although
what did they do in the animated series?
She can fly.
Yeah,
in
I thought
the Justice
so.
League cartoon.
Yeah.
Although I will say, when she doesn't fly in the movie, or like
it's not missed. It's not like directly linked to what I think of her.
If I watched a Superman movie and he didn't fly, I'd say like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Or Green Lantern and he didn't fly, or like. But Wonder Woman, maybe the reason it's so back and forth is that it kind of just always works.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know why it works both ways. I like it that she can fly. Because she, there's limits on her flight. She can't breathe in outer space. She has to wear something.
Yeah.
She can't, she's not as fast as some of the other characters. So, if it's a race, maybe you don't bet on Wonder Woman. But like flying for travel or flying to save someone from a building makes sense for Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I like that she can fly, but yeah, she does have this weird kind of history, and certainly live action has steered away from that. Maybe just to help her feel more different from a Superman, because the powers like strength and vulnerability, that's very easy to all just look the same. So if you say she can't fly, so she has to be smarter about it. Like Superman can go do this or whatever, she's got to be a little bit more strategic, and then you can show more of the warrior, maybe, or maybe that's part of it.
For sure.
I mean, also because the invisible jet is kind of like iconic. Not that we saw it in the movie, but you go like, well, what would she need it for? It would be like if Flash had a car.
Yeah.
You'd be like, why?
Yeah.
So maybe because you want to incorporate the jet at some point, you go, well, she shouldn't fly because we know we want to get to the jet.
Exactly.
Or something like that. I kind of get it that way. It is strange, though. More than any other character, that's the one where, like, every 10 years or so, no one can pin down whether or not that's a power of hers.
I think it's also because of, like, where her powers come from. It's not like you see a bunch of, like, Themyscirans, like, flying around.
The other Amazons don't fly.
Which is, I think, part of the weirdness, right? Which is, like, well, I mean, nowhere that she's from, you don't see Zeus, and you don't necessarily think of Zeus as a flying thing either. It's more linked to like lightning and things like that than you really think of. So I think it's just so not connected to anything that's in her past that it feels weird that she does.
Yeah. I mean, and again, the Amazons basically don't fly.
Yeah.
With very few exceptions.
Exactly.
So maybe the reason that sometimes they go back to it is to make her more like her sisters.
Yeah.
Whereas the reason you would put it in is be like, but remember, she's special. She has more power.
Yeah.
She has more powers than them.
For sure. But there's just the extra powers are so not linked to what like you initially think about Zeus, and I think that's why I think that's where the confusion comes from, because it's like Superman from day one, it's like, well, not from day one, but Superman basically it's like he flies.
Yeah.
And it's like any of the like Kryptonians that come here can also fly because of the sun, and that's just what happens.
Right, yeah.
They all fly. But it's like this one person does.
It's because Wonder Woman's the exception as opposed to the
rule.
The rule, yeah. Yeah, maybe.
I think that would probably be the only reason why it feels that way. But.
Yeah.
All right, let's leave Instagram.
Sorry, I just got to close all these tabs now that we're done with Josh.
Leave that Chris Evans one open, though. I've moved on. But I could always be brought back.
It doesn't even fit on one tab.
It's 2 screens. So let's leave Instagram and head on over to Reddit,
where everyone's nice and no one's ever mean.
Not even once. And
again, still kind of true for us.
I know.
We've been getting such nice comments, even for Ghostface.
I know.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
Our experience of Reddit is so privileged.
Yeah. But why don't we post a link on 4chan and see?
Yeah. I'm gonna go to the dark web and try to get some listeners for the podcast.
I'm gonna post our address so we can get fan mail.
Yeah. I guess next year's April Fool's is we're doing Doxter DC. I think the premise for that would be that Doxter DC, whatever Earth he's on, his podcast is people just submit names of superheroes and he outs their secret identities.
Oh my God.
I think that's what Doxter DC is.
God, if only we had like a thing where we could come up with heroes for that.
Yeah.
Anyways, last question comes from Never Say It Die, Iron Joker 33.
Very nice.
Who asks, what is the largest object with atmospheric flight ability in DC Comics? Chris Evans, big.
We get it.
I mean, it rises. I wouldn't be surprised if it
I was going to
flew.
tell you to get off his dick, but that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I was going to say like metaphorically, but it's also too.
No, it doesn't work. And what is the most ridiculous flying object?
Oh, okay. So the atmospheric flight thing is the key. We're not counting things like Mogo. He's a planet. He's out in space. That's not flying.
It's also not an object. It's a...
Well, that's true. Mogo's a person.
Yeah.
So it also, I think by that nature, it's probably not ranks the sentient city. I don't think. I'm tempted to say that it's Supertown, which is it's where all the new gods of New Genesis live, because the planet of New Genesis was sort of like decimated in war with Apocalypse. So the bugs live down there. Forager lives down there, but the actual like the new gods, Light Ray and Highfather and Becca, all of these people, they live on Supertown, which is this giant floating city that hovers above New Genesis. That might be the biggest thing that can just be in the air.
Yeah.
It's not in orbit. It's not in space around New Genesis. It's actually like in the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a pretty large thing to just be there.
Stop looking at that site.
Supertown?
No, you keep saying that's the largest thing.
It's that U2 song. Whoa, whoa, the largest thing.
Baby's got big dick energy.
Oh, he's an Evans kind of Chris. Whoa, whoa, the largest thing. Yeah, I don't know that I can think of something other than Supertown that sort of counts for that atmospheric hovering flight thing.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can think of?
Like ship-wise?
Yeah.
I mean, there's the fucking war planet.
I don't know that we ever see Warworld in... like Warworld might approach Earth, but I don't know that we ever see it like within like a few miles of the ground. Like I feel like it can't hover there. Like it would just fucking impact. Like,
yeah.
But that's a good. God, I'm not sure. Interesting. I mean, the thing is, for things to just hover or just even fly atmospherically that are that big, that is like a way more impossible feat of physics than interstellar travel, right? That's why like it was such a thing on Voyager that ship could land.
Oh yeah.
Other ships don't do that.
Yeah.
The Enterprise does not land. It's not equipped for that. It can't. It's too big. It's not the right shape for it.
Yeah.
That was the special thing with the Intrepid class Voyager, right? So same sort of principle applies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm cool.
So cool.
Yeah.
I'll say a moment of dorkiness that I had earlier today was I was looking up Harry Potter Lego, and it kept showing me Hobbit Lego, and I was getting furious because I'm like, those are two very different things. You can just fucking mix them together,
right?
Yeah.
Someone out there agrees with you.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah. Someone just ordered Hobbit Lego by mistake. Yeah, I'm gonna say Supertown.
Yeah. And what's the most ridiculous flying object?
Most ridiculous flying object.
Supertown.
What's a ridiculous flying object? That's a really
specific question, yeah.
Yeah, fuck. Oh, shit. I don't even... ridiculous flying
like
object.
Things that like people can use to fly, maybe, that are silly.
Oh, like a flying object as opposed to like an object that is flying?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Right. I mean, I guess Lobo's motorcycle is sort of insane.
Pretty fucking ridiculous, yeah.
Like a space motorcycle.
Yeah.
I mean, Lobo himself can survive in space, right? Like Superman can.
Yeah.
So it's just like an open air motorcycle. He just rides through space and then into the atmosphere. Fine. I mean, that is pretty silly. It can't be the silliest. There's no way it's the silliest. Silly flying device. We'll go also to the New Gods. They have those, what do they call them? Aero discs. It's just like circles that Mr. Miracle like will stand on.
Okay.
And so he flies on, he can sort of like fly / skate through the air on these aero discs. Yeah. They work really well with the aesthetic of the Fourth World and the New Gods, but they're, I think, like objectively silly. Like, why wouldn't it just be like a Green Goblin board? Or like, why wouldn't you make them boot shaped? Yeah. Why do they have to be fucking discs? Because
it's the future.
You know what I mean? Like, just sew them onto your boots so you can just do it. Like, I don't know. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was the last question.
All right.
Which means you know what time it is.
Yeah, I do, baby.
It's time to play our favorite game. Can you guess the name of the character, please? So someone who does not read comic books describes that character to us.
Yeah.
Which really just means that I send my wife a photo of a character from DC. She doesn't read comic books. She doesn't care for them. And she sends back clues to describe how she sees them. And we try to figure out who she's talking about. I already know who it is. The doctor does not.
Yeah. I've been pretty good on my wrong and strong approach, so I'm gonna guess every round, no matter what.
It's big and veiny. No. Technically, that's a Marvel property, though. I guess so.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here with that.
All right, so 4 questions, starting with the first question.
Okay,
here we go.
Okay,
if they had hair, I might be into them.
All right. Let's go with the obvious. Lex Luthor.
Incorrect.
Okay. Out of there.
Clue number 2.
Okay.
Has his big D on display. I swear it's not Chris.
Are we sure it's not Chris? Okay, he's got Dead Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Woo, 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 baby.
Other clues were skin indicates some malnutrition or being undead.
Yep.
Final clue, vampire daredevil.
Yeah. Those are exceptional clues.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest. I wouldn't say this to your wife, but we've had some fucking stinkers when it came to clues before. Those were great clues.
She comes in and fucking beats your ass.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been on a bit of a roll lately.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm impressed.
Thank you.
What we'd love to hear from you residents, if maybe, did you get it that quickly? Would you have gotten it that quickly?
Yeah.
Who knows? Or maybe you want to send us a question.
Yeah, so not next week. Next week is something special. It's episode 200.
Oh, yeah.
Next week.
200.
Somehow we've done this for 200 weeks. Well, not strictly.
I mean, with Docmas
and stuff, but we've done 200 episodes, which is insane.
We've recorded 200 episodes.
That doesn't count
the missing episodes.
Specials or annuals. Or we don't talk about the fucking missing
episodes. Sorry. Yeah. No, never mind.
It's 200. We don't talk about the missing fucking episodes. They're not missing. They're there. You can't find them.
Yeah. We're really like 190.
So that's next week, which is going to be a ton of fun. But the week after that, I actually haven't 100% narrowed down with the thing. So our Patreon Golden Agers voted, and it was a tie between doing something on iconic creator or creators and doing a reading assignment. So I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm going to do just vaguely like iconic books, or if I'm going to pick a creator and
read a book from them.
And we'll read a book from them and take questions about that creator and their work. So if while you're hearing this, feel free to submit like an idea for a creator if you want.
Ooh, yeah.
And I might use that as a short list and decide. But basically just we're going to read something. We're going to talk about a creator of some description.
Ooh, who do you want us to talk about?
If you have ideas for that, please send them, and I'll sort of pick out of that. Yeah. But that's what's coming the week after next. Episode 201 will be that.
That's great. You can do that through our social media platforms. Sorry, I got some Chris Evans in my mouth. Such as our Facebook,
Dr. DC Podcast.
Twitter
at Dr. DC,
Instagram
Dr. DC Podcast,
our email
drdcpodcast@gmail.com,
of course our Reddit
r/Dr_DC.
The doc phone is always open.
208-917-3238.
That's 208-917-DCEU if you're Chris Evans.
If you're nasty.
That's right. That's what I said.
If you're Captain Nast America.
Oh yeah. Our website
drdcpodcast.com or .ca.
Of course, we want those 5-star reviews.
Yeah, keep them coming.
We're getting close to that 100 mark.
Yeah, we're at 96.
Which means nothing, but it's pretty cool.
You shut the fuck up. At 100, we do the mini-series Lord of the Rings podcast. So that is coming. But also, we just like getting reviews. So keep sending them in.
Yeah, helps us make this show better.
We've got a Patreon, patreon.com/DrDC. We've got a $5 level and a $7 level. For everyone, you get a full bonus episode every week. For the Golden Age subscribers at the $7 level, you also get a video episode every week. You get to help decide episode themes. There's all sorts of extra fun stuff that we try and do. And that helps support us making cool stuff for you.
Absolutely. And speaking of special episode numbers, we're about to hit number 100.
Yeah, we're almost at number 100 for the double dose, which is the weekly bonus Patreon episode.
Yeah, so there's already almost 100 episodes for you to go back and listen to for only $5.
For only $5. So much stuff to go back.
Yeah, you could listen to it all in 1 month and not have to pay it.
Stop. What the
I mean...
Well, and this is going live to tape, so you can't even cut this out.
But over the next 4 months, I'm going to be releasing one quarter...
Hostage a week?
No. I'm going to release a quarter of the photo of Chris Evans' dick, so you have to stay tuned.
I love the idea that, like, you're the last journalist that got to it. You're like, I will release it on my schedule, even though you all already have it.
Yeah, that's right. And every month I'm going to remove the previous photo.
Oh, yeah. It's like reverse blackmail.
Yeah.
Do you want to keep seeing this?
Yeah. It took it's going to take 4 months to just show it all, but...
Good Lord.
And if you want even more content from us, we have a whole other podcast.
Check out our other podcast. It's Ghost Facers, a supernatural rewatch. We are watching every episode of Supernatural from the beginning
27
all the way through.
Oh my God.
The first 2 episodes are already out. We rewatch the episode. We talk about behind the scenes stuff about Supernatural. Yeah. We also every episode talk about the real world monster lore that inspires the show. So we've already done an episode on the Woman in White. We did an episode on the Wendigo. And you're listening to this. Next week's episode is the episode's called Dead in the Water.
Oh yeah.
Talking about a ghost.
A ghost?
Ghost.
A water ghost.
Yeah.
When Chris Evans dies, it's going to be all water ghosts.
Good God. Are you going to be okay?
Yeah, it's because he's laying serious pipe.
You seem like dehydrated. Oh no. There's so much awkward silence in this episode, and it has to go out tomorrow. It's like none of it's gonna cut out.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Well, whatever. It's a $1.99. No one's gonna fucking listen to it after we hit 200 anyway.
I mean, they should listen to it just for the sweet Gil content.
I feel so bad for him.
Bujashi.
Good Lord. We will see you next week for episode 200. Adios.
Ouch.
They always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure. They are men of might.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.